Well, tomorrow the big competition begins at Augusta National, but today it was the light-hearted fun of the par 3 contest. And well, Elk and Frank, you guys look like you've had a good day.
It's been fun.
I may have had a better day because I was at the golf all day, just left the par 3 contest. I got it on. I'm looking at it right now. We saw Bubba Watson make a hole-in-one on number 8. We put the chairs out on number 9 today, so we had some guests from out of town. So we sat on the back of the 9th hole, Diane, like some tourists we were, and just enjoyed everything. All the kids were there. It was all about the kids today.
It's so nice. Elk, you can testify to this, but with all the pressure, the serious days, I guess, are like Monday, Tuesday. Obviously, game faces on come Thursday morning. Wednesday must be the kind of light-hearted day to maybe take the load off a little bit and relax before the tournament begins.
Yeah, I mean, all the kids were there. Tony Finau had all of his kids, Corey Connors, Kisner, all these guys had, Gary Woodland has his twins. They were twin girls were running around. They were crazy. No, it was good. A little bit of disappointing that Nicholas wasn't out there and Tiger wasn't there today, or Tom Watson. But
Gary
was
this
there.
afternoon. Look, he looked a little tentative in his gait.
He's got a sore right wrist, and I saw him today. And Fuzzy Zeller and I were with him, and Fuzzy Zeller said, "See, finally, after all these years, you're starting to fall apart like the rest of us." That's what.
Oh, nicely done. I had to go over. You were early this morning.
Yeah.
I had to go over early for a meeting. I'm part of the Golf Writers Association of America. So we had our annual meeting, went to that. It was really good. Anyway, no, it's always a great meeting, but I was stuck in the media center, which is not a bad place to be stuck. If you've been in there, you've seen it.
Did anything come of anything from your meeting?
Not really. Nothing that we really want to talk about right now, I don't think. I think it's a little premature, but it was a good meeting, and it's a great Masters. LIV was discussed, live, I should say. And just everyone's looking forward to the competition and looking forward to tomorrow when they all tee off and we see all the best players in the world again, finally together, competing. It's going to be fun.
Yep. I talked to Bryson DeChambeau today as he walked off the par 3 tournament. He's feeling really good about everything and was in a really good mood. It's going to be interesting to see. I'm not really thinking about live, tour, Asian tour, Australian tour. I'm just thinking about the Masters. I went out and walked the front 9 with my guests today and ran into Stevie Williams and Adam Scott. Adam came over and talked to me for about 10 minutes. And Stevie Williams, he was playing with Ryan Fox, who's from New Zealand. He's probably the best player in the world that's not on our tour. Will be soon. Ryan Fox, that is, from New Zealand. So that was good. Keith Mitchell was in that group, and they were just, out on the front 9 hitting shots. The pins were cut in very sort of friendly positions today, and most of the players were just hitting to other parts of the green, working on where they think they may be. And, the course is good. It's ready. Greens are, I talked to a couple of players, medium fast. Yeah, they're not lightning yet. So I talked on this podcast, or I talked on this show last night with Diane. I said it's all about tomorrow because getting off to a good start is very important this week.
Sure.
The bad weather coming in.
Yeah, it's really going to be different. 90 degrees today. It's sweltering out there. So with the new weather coming in, the highs are going to be, 40 degrees less?
Yeah.
40-degree swing coming up.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Not good.
Elk, you were saying the other day when you were walking around, where the spectators go, they were putting green sand down and it felt a little bit kind of squishy. What was that like today? Was it still the case? Or, we know that they have the sub-air system under the course and they can kind of control what happens. But what are the actual conditions like out there?
Yeah, the sub-air, as you said, Diane, is under each green they can kind of control the moisture that's in the green. So let's say they did get an inch of rain. That machine can pull it out. I mean, it's just a sort of a vacuum system that they can drag out that moisture. They can't keep them dry, but they just keep them from being soaking. Walking in the rough, they do have the sand out, Diane. It is not, you know how you get sort of a little bit smelly grass when it's wet and you're walking around? It's not there, but you still smell it.
Last year was absolutely just pungent last year, but this year not as bad.
No. The course is just, it will be a shame if we get a ton of rain, but let's see what happens. But it's all set up. I mean, the buzz around, again, I talked about with Diane last night, the buzz is still around those 4 players, Rahm, Scheffler, Rory, and Brooks Koepka's in the conversation right now. So those are the big 4. Now, you're looking at the TV, you got a whole ton of other players. You got Tiger, JT, all these guys. I'll miss them all. Matsuyama. Corey Connors playing well from last week when he won. So I do think this tournament will be controlled in the end by the top players, but there is an opportunity for a young player or a sort of a long shot to get going tomorrow, Frank, coming out the gate.
One thing I noticed today, Jordan Spieth in his group, of course, with, pardon me, Jordan in his group, Jordan took it very lightly in the par 3. He was just having fun, having his child just play with him and picking him up and not being serious whatsoever about any of his shots. And I thought to myself, I know it's all a lot of fun and frivolity, but play a couple of holes kind of serious. But he didn't. He didn't do one, so maybe that's good for him. I don't know.
Do you really think that Jordan Spieth has to practice his wedge game? I mean,
excuse me, I misspoke. I'm sorry.
I mean, he really is like, if he wanted to, he could do something crazy on that par 3 course because he's pretty much the master with that club. So
yeah, he pretty much is. But he was just having a great time today, and it was fun to see all the families and all that. And I keep going to the par 3. Of course, Steve goes to the tournament itself, so that shows you where our heads are. Serious golf, buffoonery, but I have a lot of fun, and I love the par 3 because I love to see the families and the kids and the future great golfers in the world.
Whatever they did by redesigning the par 3, it's worked. They must have had, I mean, we'll never hear the numbers of how many people were at Augusta today, but I'm telling you right now, I've been to the Phoenix Open. I know what 100,000 people look like. There was 100,000 plus today.
Yeah, it was packed.
It was packed.
Absolutely packed.
Yeah, I was watching on TV and it certainly looked spectacular. So, Elk, your picks this week, your outright favourite is Jon Rahm. Your one to watch, Brooks Koepka, and your dark horse, Minwoo Lee. Are you still sticking with those 3? I'm
so strong on all 3 right now, Diane. Minwoo Lee today, because this kid, he has 190 mile an hour ball speed, and he has that sort of 1-iron shot that goes about 290 yards or something. So, it would be nice to see a young guy punch in there, a good number, and to see what happens. Sure. Again, what I said a minute ago, I do think this tournament's going to be controlled by the big guys. I think Tiger Woods said he thinks Rory McIlroy is going to win the tournament this week.
He did say that.
That's surprising to me because I don't think has Tiger ever said anyone other than him was going to win? Ever?
I don't believe so. I don't think that's ever happened. Y'all, excuse me. The pollen, I know you said it's not as bad this year.
It is.
It's really kind of getting me for some reason. I don't know why, but
you can't complain. Listen, we want to hear no complaints from anyone who's in Augusta this week.
Well, we miss you. In fact, we watched a video of you a few years ago here at my house right over here across the way when we were hitting golf balls off of the hardwood floor out the front door across to the neighbor's yard, and we had a spotter. This is how much fun it is at Augusta this week. We had a spotter over there with an umbrella to block any errant shot that might go through the woman's plate glass window. That's the fun.
I definitely had quite a lot of wine when we were doing that as well, might I add. So you're asking like a major champion to look at my...
There was a bit of the grape. Yeah, a bit of the grape was had.
Frank, I want to ask you quickly, who's your outright favourite pick? And do you have a bit of a dark horse that you're looking at too?
Well, I know you're going to think I'm crazy, but my outright pick is Scheffler. It just is. The dark horse, and this is not going to make any sense to you because he should be really a pick, but because of where he is today, Brooks Koepka. He just won. Now, Steve can speak to this very well. You just won a tournament. Are you still as sharp? Is he tired? Is he ready? You saw him today. How was he?
Yeah, well, I sat with his father yesterday at the Umbrellas, and he said that he's playing as good a golf as he's played since he was won the PGA up at the Black Course in New York there.
Bethpage.
Bethpage Black. He did want to get out and play with Rory to get a feeling for how his game is playing against Rory, to just get a feel for it. It's funny that Tiger would have said that about Rory. Rory's going for the Grand Slam. He's been a little bit under the radar. No one's really seen too much of Rory this week, it appears, on the course. But he did tee off on the 10th hole today with Shane Lowry and kind of an Irish contingent there. No, it's definitely a week for Rory to take advantage of this tournament, particularly when he's gotten the nod from Tiger. I mean, like I said, it was kind of strange.
The anointing, so to speak. Yeah, the anointing. It's a heartfelt favorite for Scheffler. I'm sorry, it is. I know you chose, I believe, Jason Day. Did you not, Diane?
Yeah, I like Jason Day to do it. I mean, first of all, I would love Rory to win. This is his 9th attempt at the career Grand Slam, and I think after the good vibes of how he ended the Masters last year with that runner-up finish and the hole out from the sand, I would love Rory to win, and I think this is probably the best chance that he's had, the way he's been playing as well. How can you not like Scottie Scheffler? Like, he's just the most rootable guy ever. Like, you have to cheer for him. He just, his outlook on everything is just so wholesome, and he's just a genuinely nice person.
And he still drives an old beater. I mean, he hasn't purchased a new car yet. He still drives the old SUV.
Here's a question for you both. Would you rather complete the Grand Slam like Rory has to win the Masters, or would you take 3 more other majors? Which one?
Grand Slam.
The Grand Slam. I think for Rory, just because it hangs over him. It's talked about all the time. So yes, the Grand Slam.
Grand Slam.
And we talked, I think Grand Slam. We talked on this show about, what does it take this week for, someone to win? And I was really focused in on one particular stat, Frank, which was bogey avoidance.
Right.
And what I mean by that is when Tiger Woods' name was put up on the board, on a Thursday, and he's -4 through 10, everyone in the field pretty much knew that he was not going to leave that board.
Right.
Same with Jack. Scottie Scheffler, by the way, leads that category for the last 3 months on tour. He's number 1 in bogey avoidance. What does bogey avoidance mean? Well, obviously not making bogeys, but it also means strategy. Don't hit it here. Can I pitch the ball if I get out of position and make the putt to save par? Can I hit a bunker shot and make par? Can I do all these other things? We know that that's Tiger's forte, bogey avoidance. Hard to be bogey avoidance when you have played much golf. So I think that's what's going to trip him up. Tiger, that is. The big question will be Scottie Scheffler. He's number 1 on tour. Rahm is right there with him. I'm going with Rahm because I think he's kind of a bogey avoidance guy too. So we'll see. It's all going to come out tomorrow.
Bogey avoidance is holding those pressure putts that are maybe out with your comfort distance. And Scheffler has proven time and time again that he can get himself out of trouble and save par when he needs to. And also these guys that have been in that situation before, I mean, Elk, you know it, there's no way you can ever prepare for or replicate the feeling of being in contention for a major when you're coming down the stretch. And we've seen it, especially, at the Masters time and time again, where guys just fall away. So, Scheffler's been there before.
He did prove he proved he'd been there before, but the putts last year on 18.
He's been there before, but only once.
Right, only once.
When we walked the course today, we talked about on hole 3 where Scheffler pitched in from way down that slope. And you start to think, he pitches in there, holds a bunch of other putts. Cam Smith hit it in the water and he barely beat Cam Smith. Could have been way different, but it wasn't. Sure. But that's what the history is. When you walk around and you have guests at the Masters, you say, hey, this is where it was right here. This is where it happened right here. This is where Bubba hooked it around here. This is where, Jack made the putt on 17. All these different things.
They'll split the trees.
Yeah, and that's why I think everyone loves coming to Augusta, because you can stand right there and say, okay, this is what happened. Do you remember when Sandy Lyle hit it out of that fairway bunker over that lip to 18 and maybe, all that. And that's what's great about coming here.
It is. It's just the tradition.
Sandy Lyle playing his final Masters this year as well. So it's going to be a beautiful one for all the Scots.
Yeah, I spoke to him today. He's feeling very good. This is it for Sandy Lyle.
It is. That's kind of sad.
Yeah, well, hopefully this is not going to be it for Tiger. and hopefully we see a good performance from him and 4 solid days of golf.
Yeah.
Well, the weather. I really believe that the weather will be not his friend this week. How do you recover that quickly when you go 40 degrees difference in temperature with what he has, with his problem with his leg? Let's just be honest. I mean,
he's a battler. You know,
he is.
He'll hang in there. It's just he's not as good as the other players right now.
He does have the tee times on his side when it comes to that early late.
What are you considering the best tee time, Diane? Because I have my own idea. Tell me what you think is the best tee time setup for Thursday, Friday.
Probably weather-wise late early.
Yeah, because it's not going to get cold until Friday afternoon, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But for Tiger, you have to think he's early late.
He's early late. Yeah.
He's got a lot of time to recover. After the first.
But to go into that temperature swing.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, how do you
through the round? I mean, literally, it will drop up very quickly all the way through his round.
Yeah, but yeah, it's
Hey,
true. It's true.
Life in the fast lane, guys.
there's no poor Tiger. It's
I'm not.
He knows what he's doing.
You're right. He does. He does. No doubt.
Yeah.
He's been there, done that.
Yeah. He made birdie 2, play 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, really good. Birdie 8. I mean, birdie 13. You don't know. He could be 3 under through 14 and be right there. We don't know.
Well, last Friday, I mean, look, everyone was getting so excited because he went on a bit of a rampage on Friday to make the cut, and everyone's like, "Oh my gosh, this is it! This is it!"
It was exciting.
He didn't putt well last year. He had 7 3-putts or something. It's unheard of.
Yeah.
Well, in his game.
Another thing, Elk. How are the nerves different when you're standing on the first tee at Augusta National on Thursday compared to any other tournament? Is it different?
Well, yeah, it's different for sure. You know, all the majors are big. It's is it nerves? Is it anxiety? Is it stress? Like, do I just want to get underway? I always told myself when he was under a lot of pressure teeing off in the Masters, I always reminded myself that by the time I got to the second tee, I was going to feel normal. So it wasn't that long. It's like sitting in the doctor's office. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
You're going to be fine once you come back
Thanks
out.
for reminding me about that.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
But I agree. I'm always nervous on the first tee.
You get over it usually pretty quick, Diane. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm just pulling his chain over here.
Yeah.
All right. Are either of you going to the course tomorrow?
Yeah, I'm going to go to the course in the morning, right out of the gate. I'm going to be there early. I'm going to put some chairs down on the 12th hole. So I'll be sitting there in the afternoon and I'll be reporting back what I see at Amen Corner. We'll call it Elk's Amen Corner broadcast tomorrow.
Amen.
That didn't sound good.
No, I don't like that one. No, we
you
need to come up with something else. I think like
something else.
Elk's Epiphany.
No, that doesn't sound. That's not.
You don't like Epiphany?
What did Elk see?
Yo, what happened?
And have either of you been to the merchandise? Have any of you been to the shop to check it all out?
Tomorrow, because we know, Diane, they're going to reload tomorrow.
Yes.
All of the patrons are out today. Yes. No more Wednesday tickets. So we were told, Diane, that the good stuff comes tomorrow, or a different set of everything. So,
Diane, do you have a lawn gnome?
I don't know.
No,
you don't. Okay.
They have 1,000. They have 1,000.
And that's it.
They're selling each day.
Yeah,
they're $50. But if you go on YouTube or on
eBay, they're 500.
Yeah, they
1,000.
$750 now.
$750 now.
Yeah, a little gnome.
It's just a little lawn gnome.
Yeah,
just a little little gnome.
They've been doing it for about 3 years.
Yeah.
So no,
it's the hottest thing.
I didn't know anything about the gnome until today.
Are you going to get one? Are you going to try and get one tomorrow morning?
No, I don't. I'm not big on that kind of stuff. No. I'm not big on that. Gargoyles, and we'll go into that another time. When I was at the Ryder Cup in Minnesota, and the house that they leased for us had gargoyles all around the top. I was terrified the whole week.
I'm glad.
So no gnomes.
I'm glad we're going to go into that another time.
Yeah, you're right.
Me
Okay.
too. I was like,
I didn't mean to hijack your show.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Thank you so much. Go and enjoy a cocktail, a glass of wine.
Yeah, and we'll be talking to you tomorrow.
Yeah,
we absolutely will.
How did I guess?